Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning back in. I've gotten a lot of questions recently regarding fall fishing and jerkbaits and how I like to fish jerkbaits. So I'm going to start doing a bunch of videos on jerkbaits because that is a bait that I really love to fish. And I have a lot of success fishing for all species, not just bass, not just the, smallmouth, largemouth spotted bass, but you work in muskies, you work in walleye. It really seems like in the fall, a jerkbait is a phenomenal multi-species bait. And it's one that I love to fish. I've done videos in the past regarding like the setup that I use. And a lot of people think I'm crazy because I like to throw a medium light action spinning rod, a short 6.5 to 6'9" rod, 6-pound fluorocarbon line. And I can talk more about that in the future. But today's video has to do with some questions I got from a subscriber, or from several subscribers, who wanted to know about color selection. With so many different colored jerkbaits on the market, it can be a little bit overwhelming as to what colors to get. And, truly, I feel like the key to picking out color jerkbaits is more about matching it to the watercolor and to the species of fish that you're fishing. But it's not really more like, if you've got a translucent bait with a blue back versus a translucent bait with a green back, there's not much difference there. There may be times that little bit of a different color back will generate more strikes, but for the most part, I don't feel like that's as important as understanding that you may want a translucent bait versus an opaque solid colored bait. So I'm going to go over the baits that I utilize and the baits that I like and the colors that I like, but just know that you can stray off that color variation a little bit if you would rather have a different color belly or a different color back or just a little bit different hue to the bait. So it's more about the look of the bait versus the specific colors that I'm choosing. But I will say these colors that I'm showing you guys are definitely my go-to colors. I mean, I will stray from them at times, but these colors make up a big portion of the jerkbaits that I throw. I've got several different brands here. I do like to mix up the brands of jerkbaits. Again, that's going to be another video where we break down the size of the jerkbait, how deep it dives, the body width, the body depth, just the different variations within jerkbaits. But this is a video on colors. And, again, a lot of these colors, if you're looking to purchase some of these, you can get these at therealshot.com. The link's in the description. Use the discount code STEFAN10 to save yourself 10% off your order. And, they carry a great selection of jerkbaits just because up here in the North Country, a jerkbait is a staple, not just in the fall, but year round. It really is. So they have a great selection of jerkbaits. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start with the clear water and work my way to darker water and mix in maybe a little bit about the species. But if I'm fishing gin clear water, what I consider gin clear water, I'm talking like 10 foot of water visibility or more, I'm going to be almost always throwing some sort of opaque color. This is a pro blue color, so it's got a light blue back, clear sides, a little bit of yellow on the bellies, but it's a pro blue color is basically what it would be. This is a Megabass 110 +1, a great jerkbait. Definitely a little bit on the pricey side, but a really good jerkbait as a whole. So what I like about this color is it really blends in well. So if I'm fishing really clear water, I'm not trying to create something that's going to create a ton of flash, a ton of anything, because those fish are going to be able to identify my bait really easily. They can see that bait from a long ways away. Most jerk baits are going to have some sort of noise to it, and even if they don't have rattles, they're going to have a weight transfer system that makes a little bit of sound, but the hooks will also make a little bit of noise clanging off the bait as you're jerking it around. So no matter what jerk bait you choose, it's not going to be truly silent. So in clear water, those fish are going to be able to see it, And if I've got sunny conditions specifically, no matter what bait you choose, will throw off a little bit of flash. So this is the type of bait I'm going to be going for on really clear water, sunny conditions. It's like a Pro Blue. It's a proven color, probably one of the top colors made in jerkbaits. So at that point, sticking with that clear water, if I've got overcast conditions where I don't have as much sun out, that's when I'm going to go with, again, a translucent bait, but one that's got a nice chartreuse belly on it to give off a little bit more color, because the sun's not going to be reflecting off of it. This color is what is this, Tennessee Vapor, I believe it's a Cutter 110. It's Chameleon Vapor. That's what it is. It's basically Tennessee Shad with the chartreuse belly. It's called Chameleon Vapor. So this is a Cutter 110 +1 made by Berkley. Another great jerkbait. They've got another really good jerkbait coming out here really shortly that I'm excited to get my hands on. But the key with this, again, is it's translucent, real natural looking bait, but you've got a little bit of chartreuse on the bottom that in those darker conditions is going to draw those fish to your bait. Okay, so then once I work in watercolor that's got a little bit more color to it, so you're talking about that 3 to 8 foot range, so it's clear but not super clear, that's when I'm going to start going with more of my chromes. So this is Clown. Clown is one of my all-time favorite jerkbait colors. I think a lot of people recognize it as a smallmouth color, but it is a killer color on all bass species, especially in the fall months. It is a killer fall color. You're just looking at a bait that throws off a lot of flash. So this is not translucent, solid chrome on the sides. It's got the bright red head and the bright yellow back. Just a great color to create a lot of flash, get the attention of fish, but it's still a clear water bait because it's mimicking the forage, right? It's mimicking shad. It's a natural color. Even though it's got some brightness to it, it's still really a pretty natural bait. So if you're talking about clear water still, which I would consider that 3 to 8 foot range relatively, pretty clear, that's when you still want your chrome baits. I'll throw the chrome most of the time, whether it's sunny or cloudy. But at the same time, I want to say that if the chrome's not working, feel like you can work in gold as well, especially if it's overcast. Gold is a great color when it's overcast for me personally. So that's the next kind of group of colors I'm going with. So when you're getting more into that bottom range of that clarity level, so that 3-4 foot range, that's when I really like to go with a French pearl color. So this is it's a pretty much opaque color bait. It's pretty much just a French pearl color. This one does have a little bit of orange on the bottom, but you're really just looking for something that's going to have more color to it and allow those fish to hone in on. And that's when I'm down in that, that dingier water. So it's not dirty. It's just got some milkiness to it. It's just something that I want to utilize, something that will stand out more, but still mimic the shad and the forage base. And that's where a French pearl color comes in. Once I'm down past that, say, 3 foot water visibility, I'm really not looking at throwing a jerkbait that much in those conditions. But when I am on a good jerkbait bite, and there are places where you can get on good jerkbait bites with dirty water, that's when I'm going to go with something like a Table Rock Shad. So this is a Smithwick Rogue. You can see it's really bright, opaque color, chartreuse sides, nice bright purple back. Really a Table Rock Shad is another proven color. All these baits are proven colors. They have been around for years and years and years and caught tons and tons of fish. But when I'm fishing, what I would consider dirtier water for a jerkbait, that's when I'm going to start with a Table Rock Shad. you know, a table rock shad is a really good bait in all water conditions because it just generates strikes. It's like a really good bright bait that will work in that gin clear, especially if you've got smallmouth around. Smallmouth will, you know, will attack that bait with a vengeance. But if I'm fishing dirtier water, I definitely want to be throwing a brighter, louder bait. It just seems like table rock shad is one of my absolute go-tos. You know, if I'm in the Ozark region, or let's say down at Hartwell, where you get some areas where you had some rain and some of the creeks start getting some color to it, that's when a table rock shad is a great bait. So guys, that's, you know, really what it is. Those are not crazy colors. I do, you know, mix in some various colors, and I've got another color that I'm going to talk about specifically in its own video. But really, these are the colors that you need. And like I said before, don't be afraid to stray away from, you know, the norm. Just because it's gin clear water doesn't mean you have to throw translucent bait, but it does dictate that that's probably a good place to start. So if you're not getting action on it, or let's say you are getting action on it and you want to try something else just to compare it, that's one of the best times to do your comparisons. If you've got a color and a bait you think's working really well, switch to a different color and see if you're going to get bit on that bait as well. It's just one of those times. It's easier to make the comparison when you know fishing's good versus, hey, I'm not getting any bites, I'm going to keep switching baits, and you don't keep getting bites because fishing just could be really tough on that day. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. Jerkbait season's coming. Grab you some jerkbaits, get out there and start whipping them around. So stay tuned. We got more tips and tricks coming out soon.